So the clients are mobile companies and vendors who also sell to companies. They have a partnership with Nokia and Motorola. Okay, so I think that's all. That's what I remember.
Okay. Actually, they have the routines, new logic, what they have developed. They are using their building their own customized mobile application for the customers, and they were thinking that why not take this new logic to the market. So
In the market.
no. The tools that they were using. Means there was a set of routines or software programs that they were using.
Let's focus on the problem. What exactly the problem?
Problem is the
How to
pricing,
price.
whether it's cost plus price or license or subscription. So they are
Whether they should do perceived value pricing or not.
You know what kind of pricing technique they use? It's
they
very
are also
simple.
comparing the product with others which are in the market and
Right.
following different price models.
So far, what they have been making customized software, and how would they price the product?
Cost
Cost plus, right? I mean, which means that I know what is the cost of producing this particular item, add some profit margin to it, and say this is my price. Okay, that was the traditional way that this company has been doing, and is very comfortable with this, right? I mean, we will talk about the pros and cons of this, but at least that is the traditional way, and he is very comfortable with that particular aspect. But now they are doing what? They are now creating a product which is more or less packaged software. I mean, it's a kind of a toolkit which now can be mass market, isn't it? I mean, earlier it is a customized product where they were able to really look at the cost plus, but now they have a new product and they are wondering whether number one, to launch it, and if they want to launch it with segment, and if they want to launch to that particular segment, what kind of pricing? I think the major issue here is what should be the pricing technique that will be. So now tell me, I mean, the question that I would like to ask here is, why is pricing so very important?
Because there are so many provisions when they want
Stupid
to
question, right? I mean,
They will ultimately tell you what profits you make. Basically, that's the only revenue factor.
All the others are cash outflows. Only one is cash.
that's the only thing that gets you money into your business. All other are expenses, right? I mean, every other marketing activity involves expenses, but this is the only thing which brings you back money. Yeah.
Once you decide on a pricing, you can't really go away from that strategy. If you are a cost-based, if you are low value, low price provider, then you can't really shift to a premium very
Right.
easily.
You're also, conveying some positioning through your pricing. I mean, pricing is just not a ticket price, but you're also talking about how the product is perceived. I mean, whether you want that to be considered a premium. Lots of times. That is the reason why I'm talking about this is we leave the pricing to the accountant. I'm sorry, I don't mean anything about accountants. They're very smart, intelligent people. But the problem is marketing people leave this particular job to an accountant and say, you work out the costing, tell me how much profit margin you want, and I'll put the pricing. What's wrong with that? I mean, is there anything wrong with that?
So seeing the current scenario, I actually feel that if you are looking at long-term perspective, or you want to position your company to become very competitive in the coming years, if you do not position yourself with the right price, you would fail.
No, in fact, the pricing is one element of positioning. I mean,
Yes.
all your 4Ps actually contribute to the positioning of your product. Whether you want that to be a Maruti.
Proposition as well in the minds of the customer. How much value the customer is seeing in your product.
Sure. I mean, I think sometimes price conveys some signal about what your product is. Sometimes even if it's a good product and then you position, you price it very low, somehow people suspect, saying that,
Yes.
why if the product is so good, how come the pricing is so low? I keep giving a very interesting and a very humorous example here. And pricing is so very important. I mean, and this is a little, it's humorous, don't take any offense. I don't, there's one, this is a few years back. I mean, there was a guy who was settled in the US, working for a great company there, wanted to get married, so he told his parents, saying that, look for a girl for me. But then he also said, having lived in the US for a long time, he said, insist and tell their parents, saying that, I will not accept a single paisa as dowry. Right? I mean, in Andhra, some communities really demand a huge lot of dowry. I mean, in fact, you have to pledge your property before your daughter gets married. I mean, it's a fact. I mean, I'm not joking. Even today, you have to give your and prepare that will and give it to those people, saying that all the property after us will belong to our daughter. Only then they will get, the girl gets married. Now this person calls up and tells his parents saying that, I won't accept a single paisa dowry, and tell them very clearly that I would not accept anything. So these people would go look at, meet the parents, and the first thing that they will mention is, my son insists that we should not ask for even a single paisa dowry. Believe me, it took a long time for them to really get married, because somebody said, if this guy is so qualified, he's working for a top company in US, why is he demanding? There must be something wrong. So I don't advocate dowry, as such. But the point I'm trying to say is pricing sends signals to the market. So we need to understand pricing is just not about cost plus or not merely profit. It's about the long-term sustainability of your brand, your image, and subsequently what you introduce in the market will depend very much on that. Whether you want to be a Rolls Royce or a Maruti is a strategy. I was talking to Rahul in the morning today. He is talking about either going for a very customized design of the shoes or go for mass production. The choice is yours. You can play the volume game or you can play the price game in the premium. It's up to you, but you have to be very clear at the very outset that pricing is not to be just taken very lightly as if it's an afterthought. If you look at marketing people, most of these people really focus so much on promotion. You ask these people, they know which media to put your advertisement. They can talk about the media plans, they can talk about the channels of distribution and everything else. And you ask the marketing guy, how do you do the pricing? He says, ask my accountant. This is one problem that we need to be very clear about. So pricing plays a very important role, and this is where these people are stuck. Now the guy says, I want to go for cost plus, and there is also another thing that they were also discussing, right? What is the other pricing model that they were looking at? Value-based pricing. Any idea what is value-based pricing is? Have you heard about it?
Pricing based on the perceived value of the customer.
Right. So,
but the problem in that entire model is that what is a perceived value? So it becomes very subjective.
how do you know? Because see, cost plus pricing is very easy to really decide, because you can easily do your costing. You take out all your costing data, add it up, and then this is the cost of raw material, this is the cost of this. It looks very easy, isn't it? Even cost plus is not that easy.
In fact, it depends on the product type. For example, if it is a software like Adobe, then it is very easy for vendor to convince the user that these many features you will get. This is how much value we are providing. So in that way, it is easier for vendor to convince user. In that way, I think value-based costing is better.
We will not come to any judgment right now. We are only just talking about what are the pros and cons, and then we'll come to a final judgment. I think it's.
So my point was, before going to pros and cons, we should understand the product. Okay. What product is.
But this guy is not very comfortable with value-based pricing, right? He says, I'm very happy with the cost plus, and then he also has some sort of a bias against value-based pricing. He says one thing is very fuzzy. What is value? How to define value? How do you,
Criticality.
How critical it is for
because
the customer. How critical are valuing that particular product or services for the customer to build a value based on it.
Rema, let me tell you, give me a very good definition of what is value according to customer.
Additional
Actual more than my efforts.
value is something.
It could be the satisfaction.
Product
Satisfies
your needs.
Satisfy your needs,
Actual more than expectation.
actual more than expectation,
It could be the utility.
utility.
How much of utility or credentiality or crucial for the person is to buy that particular, how critical is the product for the buyer, the consumer.
So 20 people have 20 different opinions on what value is.
Economic concept.
Now if I don't know what value is, how am I going to price based on value?
So is it like the features of the product, how much benefit you can get out of that features, or the major reason why the product has been made, that attributes which is going to the result of the outcome of using that product. If I give the major benefit in that results, then it's a higher value product.
Namrata, I'll ask you a simple question. A Rolls Royce has 4 wheels. It's got a steering wheel. It's got an accelerator, brake and everything.
He's been
Sells for,
this is the
sells for
positioning.
$500,000.
Yeah,
This
because
is the experience for the customer experience of
So there are both tangible and intangible things. You know, there are a lot of things. You know, value is a moving target. Nobody knows what value is.
So is it value? Is it differential value that we are
What
trying?
is different value? I mean, if I know
This
what value is, I
what
can talk about
everybody
difference.
gives ceases to slowly become a value. It becomes a necessary thing. You don't even get into the category unless you provide the basics.
Kiran, I'm asking a very fundamental question. What is value? Whether it deteriorates over a period of time, gets equal, that's a different issue. I want to know what is value.
I think it's anything that makes your life easier and better. That's as simple as that.
That's it.
when you're happy paying
Anything
that
that
price.
does that for you is value.
Maruti does the same thing and Rolls Royce does the
It
same
makes
thing.
your life simpler. Right? It makes your life- Now, at what stage? How much value does it add in it? Probably Rolls Royce adds more prestige and it makes your life better. Maruti gives you more
But
mileage.
prestige doesn't give me a better, you know.
It could be anything. Right? I'm not saying that Maruti
Life
doesn't give you
is
value.
easy.
of the person.
What I'm trying to essentially say is, I mean,
It is subjective thing. It
It's
depends
a
from
very-
person to
very
person upon his needs.
Very
Like a
subjective.
person,
Right.
like Maslow's need hierarchy theory. If we
Right.
read, it is basically first we start with physiological needs, then safety needs,
Oh,
then
you're getting
belonging
into
needs.
a
So like
different
it
thing.
depends, yes.
Wonderful.
Because value is a subjective thing.
I know.
So we have
At
to-
what stage of
Yeah.
you know Maslow's hierarchy you are?
Yeah.
If you're at a very basic level,
That's why,
Maruti is
that
fantastic
is
value.
why one segment of people
Yeah,
like to
absolutely.
drive in Rolls and Royce,
Absolutely.
and one segment they are happy with bullet cart.
Right.
So this depends on where you stand.
I know. It's very subjective. The point I'm trying to make here is, I think she used the right appropriate word.
Because I'm a student of psychology.
Yeah. You know, it's true. I mean, I think psychologists should be the real marketers because they understand the thinking and the emotions behind somebody's buying. I mean, the point I'm trying to really make here is cost plus is pretty easy to calculate because even that, of course, is not as simple as it looks, but it is nevertheless a lot more easier. It makes your life a lot more comfortable. And at least you know that you're making at least a decent profit. And value based, you don't know where you stand. And like she said, I mean, value differs from person to person. So given that kind of a scenario, value based pricing looks very simple, but it's not very easy to really, estimate what is value. And then based on that, you have to also decide the pricing. Right? I mean, given these two choices that they had, so I just want to go back to the first question. Pricing is very important for the simple reason that pricing is the one which gets you profits. It's the one which keeps your shareholders very happy, right? It also keeps your family very happy because you bring more money, right? And it is also a part of your positioning that you're talking about, right? I mean, it also gives you the image that you're looking at. The cheaper the price, people look at price as a proxy to the quality of a particular product, right? I mean, there are several issues to pricing, and that's the reason why I say pricing should not be taken lightly. It should be thought about very carefully. It's a part of the overall marketing strategy. And once you decide pricing, you can't just change it overnight because positioning is one strategic marketing tool which you can't just change at your will. I mean, once you created a positioning, it remains stuck in the minds of the customers, and they will always, start looking at you in that particular image itself, right? I mean, so this is one thing. But the second part that I also find interesting about pricing, can somebody guess what it is? I mean, lots of times the marketers always complain saying that the price is very high, I'm not able to sell the product. Do you agree with me? I mean, that's a very valid statement.
Yes.
In fact, even when I was selling, I remember in my career, I always used to go tell my boss and that lower the price by another 20%, I can sell you a lot more of these items. And then one day, I think he really told me that if I can reduce the price and sell it in the market, I don't need you, I need a monkey to do that. This is the statement that he made. I mean, it really hurt me at the time. But then I realized that if you're going to be a smart marketing guy, you need to really focus not on the price but on the value. And quite often, marketers are very lazy or sometimes just want to take the easy route and say that, who talks about value? I might as well just talk about the price, show the list price and say knock off 20% from that and give you a great discount and people will come to you. This is a typical normal reaction or probably the approach of most of the marketing people. So price has to be looked at very carefully. There's one more thing that I want to talk about. Price is just not about price, but it's also there's something called a pricing structure which goes with it. What do you bundle along with that? You know, price is just not about the ticket price that I'm talking about. It also talks about what are the other things that you throw in, the service aspect of it, some features, extra upgrades that I'll give you at a later point of time. You know, there were several features that we need to look at when we are doing the pricing part. You know, and this is something which also people tend to forget. Most of the telephone operators today offer you just not the price, but they give you bundles of options, saying that, you know, we provide this along with this, and you know, if you take this particular package, I'll give you this price. If you take this package, I'll give you this price. So it's a part of the overall structure that we need to look at in terms of pricing, not just the ticket price at all. You know, that's another aspect of it which I just want to talk about. Finally, we all agree that pricing is the one which gets the bacon home. I mean, not anything else. At the end of the day, you need to make profits, and that's where you survive, which is fine. So the question that we come up to is, given this kind of an important decision that he has to make, there are two choices. One is cost plus, the other one is value based. Can we really take a quick call on this and say, how many of you agree that cost plus is a better option? Why?
To start with is,
Why do you think cost plus is a better option?
One thing is, you are not charging the customer based on his perceivement of profit, but you are charging him for the amount of work that you are actually doing.
Okay, so this is your effort. And based on this effort, you know how much to be charged, and that's the reason. I mean, you're not asking the customer.
It's more transparent. I mean, I know what I'm working on, and it's not based on some imaginary things. I know what my costs are, and based on how much profits I make. So even if my costs increase, I know how much to increase my price.
Okay. So you have it's more grounded, I think, right? I mean, you know,
Yes.
it's more accurate,
Yes.
I would say, right? I mean, so you say that, you know, you at least know what your price, you know,